We're never alone. And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together.
This is a Silk exclusive.
Before we start the episode, I just want to say, you know what I'm saying, we recorded this last week, August 11th. Hit the homies up real quick on a whim. We recorded just talking sports. I wasn't sure if we was going to actually, post it as a full episode or chop it up into little segments, but here it is. You're getting the whole thing in its totality. Like I said, it was recorded a week ago, so everything that you're going to hear us say, some things changed, some things didn't, but feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share, as always. Shout out to the listeners, shout out to the viewers. Y'all know what it is. The conversation continues. So welcome to another episode of Words, Music, Dance. I'm your host as always, Paul the Bull, no relation to Gavano. We're back on the call. We're still social distancing and all that good stuff. But I got a couple of homies with me today. In no particular order, whatever. We got Ben, we got Lou, we got Jared. And today we're talking sports, but it's sports in the 2020s and the pandemic era and what every sports is dealing with. So welcome first off, gentlemen. How y'all doing? It's been a while since.
What up,
fellas?
What's good? We're all sports fans. We all enjoy the entertainment. Some of us gamble on it. We've all have at some point. So.
I want to gamble on it.
It's legal in Pennsylvania, so I'm good.
Yeah, I don't want to, put that out there. But it happens. It happens. We don't Michael Jordan it. We're not out here putting stacks and checks on it. But we get involved in it. But this year, obviously 2020 that we're still in, things have changed. Life has changed. Entertainment has changed, and sports is affected by it. So currently, 3 of the major 4 leagues are going. Football's the only one that hasn't started yet because obviously it's not the fall yet. But basketball is going, baseball is going, and hockey is going. And we just got some breaking news as of today about NCAA college football. A lot of leagues are a lot of what are they, divisions? What conferences?
Conferences.
A lot of the conferences are saying they're canceling the fall season things because of obviously the virus. A few conferences said that they are continuing with it. Jared, what was those again?
Which ones? The ones that are not going through, or the ones that are?
The ones that are.
As of now, SEC and the ACC,
right,
in the Big East. And
one of the things that a conversation we had before we started recording was them saying that what did they say? College can't play in a bubble.
The Pacific 12, the Pac-12, they said college sports can't operate in a bubble.
Right, and Ben and I both agreed that that's BS.
Right.
So Ben, go ahead. What are your thoughts on them making that statement?
Right, because like I see it, essentially they can make their campus their bubble, albeit a little bit looser than like the NBA bubble, which is more restricted. But if they don't have the regular students coming in and they just have the student athletes coming into the campus, it's very doable. I think. I don't see why they can't.
Right. And Jared, what did you think? Did you agree with that or you disagree with that?
I don't necessarily. I know. I think I don't think it's optimal to have it as a bubble or a campus for college kids. Like that, they're kids. I don't think you could control kids and tell them really what to do, especially since they're not paid athletes.
No, I get that, but at least they're
kids,
still
young
within.
adults.
They're still within. At least they have some type of protocol to try and follow. Even I'm sure they're gonna mess it up. I mean, look at the NBA; they messed it up. So
Well, no, not so much the NBA. Baseball really messed it up a little bit.
Well, you see that's another one though. Baseball, they opened up.
I want to go through each sport one by one and how each one is handling it. But yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Like, all right, so
you can be able to operate within a bubble.
Right. So let's say, for example, just the college sports.
Mm-hmm.
The kids. Some of these schools that are canceled already, their conference, are gonna have students on campus. So if you have students on campus, why can't you have student athletes on campus? It just makes no sense. So it's kind of
My spin with that though is that the college kids can opt out of the season. So you're gonna have all these major college stars elect not to go to school due to the pandemic. You know, at the same time, what kind of product will the NCAA put on the field? You know, I mean, paid athletes is one thing, like we have in the NBA where you can sign players and, you know, add them to your roster. But college, like if a star quarterback says, I'm not going to play, there's really not much the college can do. The pandemic.
I get that. Don't get me wrong. Like if the kids want to opt out, all for it, do what you got to do because, you know, everybody has their different circumstances. But a lot of these kids need that college to showcase what they got, to showcase that value, because they're trying to make it to the other league. If they don't get this shot, they might not ever get it. So it's a lot.
I hear that, but now the way the combine is set up and how a lot of kids have missed the season and gone to the combine and just destroyed it and improved their stocks. I mean, it's showing a lot that the league, I mean, the conferences aren't really as invaluable as they were. I mean, these kids are playing 10 games a year and then going to the combine, or the ones that were suspended, they go to the combine and they take off. So
look,
it's a catch-22. It's tough for the NCAA to get a product on the field that's going to be quality. Plus, I know they want to because of the money behind it. These schools are funded and run by the college teams, whether it be the football, the basketball. Those two pretty much run. Right. You know, they fund the schools, so I get the pressure that they get to having to put a product on the field.
Like
That's the biggest thing. They're really more concerned with the money that they're gonna lose. You know, because they don't care about the kids. I mean, because if anything,
no,
they could offer the kids next year scholarships to come back and play next year. So they're more concerned with, like you said, who would play this year. Who would opt out?
I don't think they're concerned about that, bro. I think what they're concerned about is the liabilities. Right now, it's like, okay, if somebody does get sick, it's a kid, and they're supposed to be. I think that's why they canceled some of these conferences. To be quite honest, I think it's just, I think they're afraid of that.
Who's going to play and what the product would be, because if
it definitely came out the
going to play, then nobody's going to watch, which means they're going to lose ad revenue.
Right.
You know, because the kids will go straight to the league. Like you said, kids will go straight to the combine and can still get drafted and picked up. So,
I don't like the combine though. So,
well, now these kids have their own pro days.
That's just in football, but in basketball, they got workouts in summer league, and you know what I'm saying. So there's overseas, there's other options that the kids are already opting out of stuff. The NCAA right now is more concerned with, you know, because these are TV contracts. They're backing out based on the conferences, and the conferences are based on, you know, TV deals, you know, and things like that. So I think that's more their concern. They don't care who gets sick because kids are going to schools and elementary schools and stuff. And you know what I'm saying? They're not saying it's on a state by state case. They're saying it's on a conference by conference case, which is their TV deals and the business side of it. So that's just how I see it. I mean, we can go on about that, but we started with, we spoke about the bubble, and the NBA right now is kind of the prototype, the blueprint of the bubble and how it can work, and how to keep it. Because I believe since they've started, there's been 0 cases recently for the last couple of weeks.
Right, the last couple of weeks, 0 cases, but NHL has similar to the NBA, but they have 2 bubbles, and none of their bubbles have had any cases. So the bubble works.
The bubble works.
That's
right. The bubble works. Now my only issue as far as NHL, they weren't even like televising most of the stuff. Like it was only on MSNBC. I tried to watch the Rangers. I'm a Ranger fan. Rangers in the playoffs got fucked anyway. So it was like, all right, forget it.
My Blackhawks
the Rangers,
still in
the
there.
first pick in the draft.
Yeah, you got the first pick.
I heard about that. Yes, I heard about that.
Well,
my Blackhawks are still in there. They play tonight.
I tried to watch the NBA. Obviously, my team didn't make the 22 team cut. I believe Jared, you're the only one that had a team in the playoffs. Jared, how's your Nets doing? Have you watched the games? How you feel about the product that they're putting on TV?
I'm actually surprised about them. I barely haven't been following too much. I know when they play. I just really don't watch like that. I may tune in for like a couple of minutes, and then I'm right back out watching regular TV. It's not that it bores me, whatever. It just doesn't feel the same as usual. And that's just to be expected. But surprisingly, this bubble Nets team has been actually performing pretty good. Like, they got victories over Giannis and the Bucks and Kawhi and the Clippers. So, I mean, they're doing pretty good with the whole Superstore team. Looking like Cloud9 out there. But
shout out to Pete. He was a virtual fan for one of the Nets games.
Actually, all of them.
He did it for all of them?
Well, for all the quote unquote home games. Yeah.
Home games, yeah. The home bubble games. So shout out to him for
Look, I don't know what Home Depot or Walmart the Nets went to, but they did a good job.
They had a great selection of crews.
I don't know. Who would have thought, right? About the Suns, though. The Suns.
I thought Jacques Vaughn would never get another head coaching job again.
Yo, Jacques Vaughn,
team,
bro, he needs to be the actual full-time coach now. Like that's impressive.
It is very impressive, I must say.
So, Lou, what do you have you watched any games?
I mean, I haven't watched any games. I'm gonna be honest. I caught the last 20 seconds of the Laker game last night. But we're creatures of habit. We ain't got basketball in August. Like,
right. That's true.
Normally we in full baseball mode.
Right.
So to have basketball going on, it's like, I don't know. Part of me thinks that is that a summer league game on? Like, it got that summer league feel to it. Like I'm not really mentally there to be like, all right, this is a real NBA game. I mean, I give them credit. Like their ratings aren't where they need to be or where they expected them to be. But you got to remember, it's the middle of August. People, even though we have to be home, we've been home so much that the TV is the last thing a lot of people want to look at. Looking at it for 4 months. But I'm not into it. I really ain't. Like, I was hyped to see the Jimmy Butler versus
TJ
Warren, and I missed it. Like, I completely forgot it. Like, I only remember when I got the stats, like, Jimmy Butler gets revenge. Like, damn, I missed it.
You know what it is for me is that I know they have these 8 games that really don't mean much. So that's why I'm not that focused on it.
And I was going to ask that because, like I said, Jared, your team is actually in the playoffs. Y'all clinched the playoff spot.
We clinched the 7th spot.
Has any team moved? Has these games really?
Portland's the only one, I think.
But they're still out though. They're not in the playoffs still, right?
No,
they still need to. They basically need to run the rest of the table, and Memphis needs to lose the rest of the table.
I think Phoenix is a game and a half back, right?
Yeah, Phoenix is like 6-0.
Phoenix.
They need a lot of help.
Is Memphis still 8? But you have the Phoenix, Portland, and New Orleans all like right there.
Yeah, so. Portland is a half a game behind.
Well, New Orleans is out. They already got
New
eliminated.
Orleans
Yeah,
got eliminated.
Portland Spurs are half a game behind each. Phoenix
Okay.
is a game and a half.
Game and a half.
And speaking of
And
New
Devin
Orleans,
Booker.
what are y'all thoughts about Zion and them saying he looked bad, he's out of shape still, and they had him on another
out of shape.
restriction.
I'm gonna be fair to the
watching
boy.
him,
They
He's
didn't
a
play
big
him,
guy.
but they didn't
He's a
play
big
him
guy.
though. Yo, they played him for like 15 minutes,
Because they
and
gotta take it easy on him.
I don't know, man.
You
I
think
think
they
they're
were
doing a little
saying
bit too
next
much.
season?
Huh?
You see the thing with Zion is even during the regular season, his conditioning wasn't all that great either.
Right.
And his condition isn't that good now. And they have so much invested into him. Why would I want him to run out there? If he doesn't look good in 15 minutes, why am I going to run the risk?
I get
having him
it.
go 25, 30.
I get it,
All
but
for a stuff not that good.
early in the bubble games, they were in on some of those games, and they could have moved up. They needed those wins.
In
And
practice, they were. Too.
And they didn't
To
even play
devil's
him.
advocate,
Like, yo, just throw him in 2 minutes.
to play devil advocate, man, you have 4 months off and you didn't get in shape.
That's going to show against his professionalism.
And that's all he had to do because,
Well, they're
again,
kids, though. Come on, man.
again,
Came out of college.
you're not kids. You're young
No,
adult.
you're
You're a
not.
kid.
You got
There ain't no
About it.
excuse. You
I'm
just
sorry.
gave college football the out. Nah, son.
And
But
he
they-
knew because when the
You're not gonna
regular
act-
season was going on, he was on a minutes restriction. So now,
yeah.
then he got a break. And if the team doctor said, hey, just lose 10 pounds or just do this, hit the treadmill, and you know what I'm saying, if they told him that, that's all you got to do. You got nothing else to do for the last 4 months.
Right. But did that happen? You don't know, though, right?
That's what I'm saying. Apparently it didn't. We know it didn't happen.
It didn't. So
I know I'm not alone though, but thinking like every time he jumped, I'm worried like, okay, is this going to be the moment where something goes pop?
It's like when
come
Derrick
on.
Rose came back.
I think he'll be all right. Look at Charles Barkley. Similar body types,
Well,
heavy. Barkley was heavy when he came into the
wasn't as
league.
heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He was heavy
He
when he
wasn't-
first
he
came in.
wasn't- he
Yeah, as a
wasn't-
rookie. As a rookie,
Nah,
he
but
was
he
pretty
wasn't
heavy.
jumping like.
Oh, no, not
Right,
jumping
you don't
like
play
that.
the ball.
No.
He's not as.
I get that. Not
Yeah.
the same athlete. Not the same athlete. I get that. Not the same athlete. Not the same torque or pressure.
And
put
he
in the body.
wasn't dunking on. He wasn't as physical. He was smaller. Barkley's only 6'4". He was chubby at 6'4".
Right.
He
Yeah,
wasn't.
but what, he was like 280
I
at
mean,
one point.
You can look that big. He was.
You can
He was
see what
like
team
250, 260 maybe. But again, he was small. He was a power forward weight and a guard height.
body.
No, but what I'm just saying,
Zion is baby Shaq.
I get
Yeah.
that, but I think it's possible. I think he can stay healthy, but granted, it's his condition. He's got to get better.
And it's his style of game. Like I said, like when Derrick Rose was playing, you wasn't afraid until he got hurt. And then when he came back, it was always easy. Like Zion had injuries in high school, injuries in college, injuries in preseason, and then injured again in the season. So it's like it's not a
I get it.
precaution. It keeps happening.
But see now you're bringing up all these injuries. For me, it's like, well, he's always injured. I might as well ride it out till he gets injured again.
I mean, with him, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Exactly. So I might as well push it till like he goes.
Yeah, but do you want to?
That's why they want him to lose the weight. If he lose the weight, it won't be so much on his legs.
Right.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't push him like that because the new season begins in December. So if anything, just let like if you're not going to make 8th seed anyway. So really, at this point, it's a
No,
loss.
they already
It's a
eliminated.
loss. At
And
this
that's
point,
no, yeah, for sure.
Season was a waste anyway. That was my.
Oh no, right. I wasn't meaning like just in this. I was just talking about in general. If he's healthy, throw him out there. Just let him go until he burns out.
This
I mean,
whole
because that's what you're gonna get. He's one of those stars.
This whole 22-team bowl tournament thing to me was a waste. I think, especially if they want to start the next season right back up, I thought they should have just canceled it and it could have started on time in October. And I would have preferred.
Well, this was their test run to see if they can actually manage during the pandemic.
I actually like it though.
But they could. I mean, they could have did a summer league in the bubble, and then that would have been a test. I think.
Yeah, but if you don't play anything attainable, these players weren't going to show up.
Because the thing is, they needed closure. You had partial season though, so you had to close it out somehow.
Yeah. I mean, and you can really tell which teams put in work the 4 months off.
Well, it already leaked that LeBron and Lakers was like sneaking into somebody's mansion or something to play ball with each other.
Come on, all of them were. Come on now.
Yeah, so you can tell
Come on.
They were sneaking in a gym.
Look, they have access that we don't. So they were
right.
obviously doing stuff.
Yeah.
Come on.
So it was already known that they was already having the team chemistry and the camaraderie. It wasn't like, oh, they've been off for 4 months and the chemistry's just right there. No, they were just playing ball. He knows his timing. He knows his spots. Like it ain't, they practiced that. They saw each other last week.
It's the magic of LeBron, bro.
Yeah.
The audio still out?
No, you're good. Yeah.
No, I was saying, but with the NBA, I don't know if y'all heard. I think it was as of today also that they're going to announce bubble MVPs.
Oh yes, I heard about that. Yes, I heard about that. I mean, you know what? I get that. I get why they're doing it, just to make them feel good. I think they should, because look, but they took a risk. They took a risk to play. But they took a risk to play a season tournament.
This is the only time.
I give it to them.
This is the only time Devin Booker's going to win an award.
Let them. Exactly. Let them
Devin
live.
Booker
Let them
is
live.
playing like he's signaling somebody come get him.
Yo, he's like he's possessed, bro. He thinks he's Bryant right now. He's like, yo, I'm Kobe. Kobe on every shot.
I can go hard for 8 games.
Exactly.
I can go super hard for 8 games and
8 plus 5. Remember, it was the 5.
I would love to see Phoenix get in. No. Wait, hold up. I would love to see Phoenix make it in at like an 8 spot, and people like bet heavy on them because like, oh yeah, they were undefeated and they just drop. They get swept.
Listen, I don't like the whole bubble awards because it takes away. It's like, okay, if Giannis is the regular season MVP, if Ja is the rookie of the year, whatever, that's the season MVP. Like the bubble is completely separate because of different circumstances. He didn't play who he would have been playing because other teams didn't make it, and there was other aspects. I think
that's understood though.
I think those are established already.
Well, we're gonna have some movement today because as of right now, Grizzlies are losing to Celtics. Suns are smacking 76ers, and the Grizzlies. If the Grizzlies lose, they drop to 9th. Phoenix goes up, and the Spurs already won.
So Memphis hasn't won a game.
Recording. The conversation continues. We'll see what happens afterwards, but at the time recording, that's what's happening.
Yep.
And then I would like to see Phoenix get in. They were a fun team to watch. I've seen the highlights.
No doubt.
They look good. The highlights, kind of like a trailer.
But that's NBA. Anybody watch the WNBA? They're in the bubble too.
Really? I ain't watched. I ain't even know they're playing. I'm sorry, my bad. No, I knew they were playing, but I'm not.
I mean, the highlight of WNBA season was what's her name, Sabrina Ionescu, whatever her name.
Hashtag Kobe.
Lady Mamba, like
Lady Mamba thing, yeah.
She came to the New York Liberty. They got the pick. And then she got hurt. So it was like, there goes their TV ratings. The one
about Brooklyn, I don't know.
Thinking about watching this year, she was out. So it was like, all right, back to these bounce passes and layups for the highlights. And now baseball, which
I've seen some games.
This is their time of year. Baseball would be in full effect right now. This would have been, when August, so this would be the playoff push.
Right. The trades would have been happening already.
Trade deadline would have been coming up.
Yeah, and
would have been over with already.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And at this point, some teams, haven't even really got 10 games in yet. Games keep getting postponed because unlike the NBA, they're not in a bubble. They're traveling. They're doing it. They're just no fans in the stands. Just some weird CGI effects added post production.
The weird cutouts.
Yeah.
Extra large cutouts.
Shout out to the Kansas City Royals for having this dude from Weekend and Bernie's in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I peeped that.
I see
Yeah.
I posted that on Instagram. I saw a picture
That's
of
funny. I didn't see
Bernie
that.
in his sleep.
Bernie, you said
That's funny.
Um, uh, uh, the main, like I said, the main difference with baseball is they're not in the bubble. They're still traveling, so guys are still getting sick.
Right.
I tried to watch some games. It's weird. It looks like it's just batting practice and stuff going on. There's no fans. They're funneling weird noise of fan effects after like strike three or something to try to make it seem like the crowd is going wild, and it's like there's nobody there. I can clearly see.
Wait, Guru, remember last week? I think it was we was watching Yankees Red Sox, and then like the ball went into the foul territory.
Yeah, and then they just threw in fans. It looked so weird. Oh, Jared.
I haven't seen all that, but
It's just
I've seen a couple of games that the games were kind of close, and I was actually into it, even though there wasn't any fans. But I don't know, that one the cutouts is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Bro, it looks like it's the MLB The Show. It's crazy.
That's what they're using the show like fake, animated fans and like digitally, but they're putting it in weird places. Like it'll be a home run,
right.
And you'll see empty seats, and then a fan just pops up in there. Like it's like just
you're late.
Yeah.
But you got a fly ball coming down. Wait. There's nobody trying to catch it.
Listen,
it's just dropping.
Not for nothing, but that is so baseball. Like
You just gotta put Kevin McAllister in charge of all the cutouts, and we would be golden, yo.
And like I said, unfortunately, us being Yankee fans, you know what I'm saying, we got the best record in the league. Aaron Judge is killing it. Stanton was killing it too till he got hurt.
He got hurt.
He will be coming back, but we got a good run going, and we hopefully the season can finish. There's a lot of games have been postponed. They've actually changed the rules. They do doubleheaders, only going to 7 innings.
Right.
So tell me, what do y'all think? Ben, you go first. What do you think about MLB and how they're
actually? I heard today that their percentage, as far as testing goes, because they've had like over 13,000 tests. It's like under a 1% positive test, and that's just basically the Marlins that tested back. So it's like it's not as bad as it seems. So I think they can get through it without any more issues.
Well,
I mean, again, baseball is young guys also. Young guys telling them to stay in a hotel for 4 days, that's difficult, especially if that particular city they're in is closed out.
You gotta stop using the age excuse, man.
They're young.
Stop it.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
Like they're paid to do a job. Like this is their job.
Yeah.
Like,
dude,
you know what I'm saying?
Think about when you was 21, 22 years old.
I wasn't in the majors.
I wasn't making $10 million.
I granted, but you were working at a job, and I'm sure you were screwing around there.
I wasn't in the majors too. It wasn't in the middle of a pandemic.
Listen, just because the money is not the same doesn't mean you guys weren't doing your thing on the side anyways. It's the same thing.
Money,
it's just kids. Kids are kids,
on
bro.
the line. It's the same thing when Stephen A. says, "Stay off the weed."
No. See, no. Wait. See, because you think
my job is on the line. I'm not smoking.
Paulie, but that's because you're responsible. You're thinking everyone's responsible.
That's what I'm saying.
It don't work that way. I'm sorry. It don't work that way.
It's not about the age.
It is about the age.
Millions of dollars is at risk, and there's nowhere to go anyway. Where you
look
going?
Look at Antonio Brown. Look at the age. He's older, right?
And he blew it. Age doesn't matter. But he's out. He's out to leave. We're talking about in the middle of a pandemic. Stay in the hotel.
But would you agree that that's an immature mind, right? What's immature is young age.
I think it's regret.
That's the out. We don't know.
Of course he regrets it. But look, it's not an out. It's not out. It's because it's a real thing. It is. We make stupid decisions. It's scientifically proven and studied that young male make more aggressive decisions when they're younger. It is what it is. That's what they do. We make mistakes. We fuck up.
If that was true, it would be more players than just the Marlins. Like you said, it's just the 1%. So
right, but that just shows you
all the immature players on the Marlins.
Yes, because it shows you the discipline of the team. Because imagine it's the Marlins in Florida. There's no restrictions in Florida. They're walking around.
Well,
like
St. Louis
happening.
St. Louis also had a lot.
They had some problems too. Yes, exactly. Dude, it's gonna happen. It's just it shows the dedication of the team, basically. I feel like so if your team is dedicated, they're really about it. they're gonna make that sacrifice. They're not. They're gonna go the Marlins way.
I think then they need to get stricter with their rules or whatever. They need to do something to, if they're gonna keep traveling, then they got to do something to, keep it organized. Because again,
That's true, but think about it. Overall, under 1%, that's not bad.
Well, that percentage is just for who's testing positive, but it's affecting more games because
right. It affects the games for sure.
So if a team was supposed to play Florida, now that game is postponed, which affects the next game when they travel, which affect so it's not that percentage is just who's testing.
I get that, but that just becomes like a rain out. Think about it. It is what it is. They got to deal around it. It'll be fine. How many teams are going to get 2 or 3 teams get affected at a time?
That's a lot. It affects the league because it affects the whole thing. It's just like when you have a job. When you have a job, you got the mid shift which cover lunches. You're late, so now this person can't go to lunch, but then now they can't go to lunch. The next person can't go after that. It trickles.
I get that.
It's not.
But given the circumstances, which are not ideal, I think it's not bad. I mean, everybody can't be perfect. Nobody can have the perfect bubble like the NHL. It is what it is. They're traveling. They're going around.
Teams doing the bubble are good.
Right. But that's because they can. They can.
You could do baseball in a bubble.
No, it's too many roster spots.
No.
You could. You could definitely absolutely could.
The NBA,
you pick all those teams. Where are you gonna put them?
So
it would have to be multiple bubbles.
All over.
Right.
There's a bunch of fields.
So my argument for that is you pick somewhere like New York. New York has 2 stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what we get at.
And we got MetLife Stadium in Jersey, which if they needed to, they could retrofit. So that's three stadiums that you can have teams go to and have a bubble effect. Do the same thing on the West Coast with Oakland and those teams over there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have multiple bubbles with stadiums within decent range of each other. That way multiple teams can play. Same thing as we're doing with the NBA.
But that's the thing. Baseball didn't rearrange their conferences. They didn't do any of that. Like if they would have thought about that, I think that would have been ideal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They didn't think about it, and they're not trying to. They're still not even trying to fix the issue. That's what's kind of effective. Did they take the Marlins out completely already?
No.
I think they removed.
No, they're back.
No, they're back. They started. No, they had to get substitute players, and they actually are winning. So,
what's their record?
I think they were leading actually.
I'll tell you right now.
I think they were.
I think they just had to play a bunch of games to catch up.
No. I think they had.
the Mets would be.
Yeah, they got 10 games now. They only had like 4 games. They played like a bunch of games to catch up. They're up to like 10 games now.
Yeah.
They're 7-3.
They are.
They're 7-3.
Yeah, there you go.
And yeah.
They played a bunch.
And percentage-wise, they're on top of the division.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's possible.
They cheated.
Look, I know it's gonna affect. I know it's gonna affect the teams, but it's not gonna ruin the whole league.
St. Louis is 2-3.
But
yeah, they've been.
That means they didn't have replacement players. That means they didn't have no good replacement players. I'm sorry, the team wasn't prepared. That's your fault. Next.
5-6. Like this, the standings is so lopsided right now. It's not a good look. They got to do something to get the teams in uniform. Everybody's got to stick to protocol, because it looks bad. It looks bad to have one team only play 5 games, another team play 16 games. Like it looks bad.
I get why that would look bad under normal circumstances, but this is not normal circumstances.
Right, which is why they could move into a bubble.
They could have, but the union is too strong, and they weren't agreeing on that stuff. So it is what it is. They're traveling, but they're making it work. Did they have a hiccup? Yes, but they're still playing. They didn't stop the league, right?
They thought about it.
They thought, yeah, they still talking about it. It's still
You have to always think about it. That'll be dumb if you don't.
Potentially an option. They're keeping it like it could happen still.
Of course, you have to keep the options open, but it's working so far. I'm sorry. It just looks like it's working. I don't think it's like that one team, let's say 2 of them, Cardinals and the Marlins, both of them, it didn't tank the league so far. So they're getting by.
And what about Cespedes? What do y'all think about Cespedes?
that was messed up. How you just gonna leave, man? Like,
Man,
leave a note.
the
Like,
Mets
I'm out.
absolutely got what they paid for.
That's horrible. I'm
My
sorry.
man was like midway through. He's like, you know what?
Nah, I'm
Say
good.
for me, dog.
Imagine he just stood there to collect the check. He was like, I have to play at least 5 games to make the contract
And
valid.
it might have been what he did. He might
That's
get
exactly what we might have done.
his
Like,
bonus,
he needed
whatever.
to
I don't
get a
know
certain amount of hours in,
Yeah.
and then that's good.
It's a possibility. I don't know how the contract breaks down, but he
Me
might
neither,
have had to
but-
show up to get the bonus activated or something like that.
But that's shady, bro. Like, at least tell somebody, like, yo, I'm opting out. I don't feel it.
he
Something.
told his agent afterwards.
They were looking for him. They thought he was missing.
He told him after. He
Come
was
on,
like,
man.
Let them know I'm going. They come back.
They thought they were in Colombia and he got kidnapped.
They was concerned, and they called in the agents like, I haven't even heard from him. Then the agent was like, oh, he called me and he said he ain't come back.
Yo, I'm so I would try and avoid that contract. Like,
Yeah, I
wow.
wonder what they can legally do to that now. You know,
I'm sorry, but you have to give some kind of notice, like, right? I mean, even in the pandemic, you have to say at least, particularly for the athletes, because they gave them a deadline to opt out, right?
Right.
So if you didn't formally say I'm opting out, aren't you technically say I'm going to play, and then if you're not there,
Right.
you just voided your contract.
And I agree, and I'm saying, but it depends on, like you said, the MLB union, their players union strong. So
Yeah,
if his
very
contract says guaranteed, then he might have just had the second biggest robbery, or third biggest robbery from the Mets organization.
Yeah. Those
because we all know about
MLB contracts are so like so trap, man. It's like, wow.
But he, look, now we got now we're gonna talk football. Jared switched to M&T Bank Field, which I got bad memories of being there last season.
This is actually from last season.
Oh, great! Yeah.
You can see
the Niners in the field.
Yeah.
But only one of us made the Super Bowl because your fellow fans was talking trash, and I told them see you at the Super Bowl, but I was wrong. We made it. We was waiting for y'all. Y'all didn't show up, so
we didn't. Maybe
but, as far as this upcoming season, so football is the one major sport that hasn't, isn't scheduled yet, so they haven't done it. They're still trying to figure out what they're gonna do, but a few players have opted out. Some have said they would, then they backtracked and said they won't. I guess money talks. But what do y'all think about football and how they're handling it, and what they plan to do with it? So, Lou, I'll start with you first on this one.
Football scares me. One, because it's tough to play a game without fans in the stands. Like, especially football is probably the hardest one to do. I think it's going to be done. And just so many moving parts when it comes to a football game. Like, it's literally full contact. So if their testing protocols aren't up to par, if they don't have like the NBA level testing protocols, if they have the MLB version, like, we're gonna run into a lot of problems really, really quick. It only takes, there's 53 men on that roster. Stay on the field. The season will be done before it even gets started if one team comes down with this pandemic. And I'm hoping they get it
at a time too. 11-11 switching on
right.
It's a lot more people. High five! Oh, wait, don't touch me.
Right. I mean, I heard they are trying to design some special face shields for the mask, for the helmets. I don't know how it's going to work because not every player uses face shields.
Right.
Those visors. I would love to see football come back. I'm not getting too overly excited. I mean, the best case scenario we can hope for is that we have some decline in the cases before football starts. Preseason is gonna. Well, we're skipping preseason because preseason would have been going on right now. My second worry is injuries.
The Hall of Fame game.
Hall of Fame game is canceled.
Canceled that already, yeah. And
preseason.
Right, and the preseason, right? Yeah, the preseason.
Because preseason we would have had Jets versus Giants on Sunday.
And I'm mad because the Niners are actually playing twice They're playing the Giants and the Jets this season. I would love to go see them at least once. And if there's no fans, I can't even go see them, play. I'm mad in general because obviously my Niners lost last year in the Super Bowl, and this was our revenge tour.
Revenge tour, yeah.
And again, I'm not going to be able to see it live or see them live. 1, 2, the season is in jeopardy or in doubt or what have you. So I would love to get a full season, let us win, and I would also love to enjoy it live because the experience of watching it live is unmatched. So unfortunately, that's already definitely not happening, seeing it live. But if the season does happen, hopefully it goes through and our championship is not tainted, this year. But Jared, since you're on the field, we'll come back to you last. Ben, what are your thoughts on the NFL plans and stuff? What they got going for the season?
I think they will get it done. Actually, I don't think they're gonna have that much of a problem. Look, they can see what the NBA is doing. They can see what MLB was doing. They can see what Major League Soccer was doing. They already have so many examples of what type of protocols they can try and implement. I think they'll be all right. I think they can have enough protocols to keep them safe. I mean, like I said, the baseball, even though it's not perfect, they still manage to get enough through. Granted, for the NFL, it'd be much different if one team goes out. But if they create, let's say, a 2 or 3 bubble thing, kind of like the NHL did, they probably can avoid all those issues. But they have time. It's getting closer, but they still have a little bit of time to get something locked in. I think they can do it. I mean, they're letting people fly in the airlines. And I've seen pictures of it. It's packed, in a tube for a couple of hours. I think you'll be all right to play football for a couple of hours. So I think you'll be all right.
Jared, for you, I got a specific question. I'm going to read this tweet by the great primetime Deion Sanders. He said, all players opted out in all sports. Please believe the game will go on without you. This is a business, and don't you ever forget that. There's no one that's bigger than the game itself. Only the ref, umps, and officials are that important that you can't play without them. Not you. #truth. So, Jared, I'm asking you, what's your thoughts on Deion's tweet?
That's easy to say for the guy who never played during this kind of time, though. that's a hell of an easy comment to say. He's speaking I guess he does have a lot of branding with the NFL, being that he's on NFL Network and so forth. So he has a lot of money, he has a lot of money, invested with. Well, they have a lot of money invested with him. So I guess he's playing the whole company line for it.
This NFL Network. This 7 hours ago, Deion Sanders is leaving the NFL Network.
Really?
Oh shit!
Really?
When did he tweet that?
Network analyst. You search his name, it shows up everywhere.
Did he tweet that? Did he tweet that
After?
as he was still an employee?
Well, I guess so. That tweet was from 2 days ago.
Oh shit!
And now today he's leaving the NFL Network.
I guess somebody was like, "Look, prime time. I guess we got to cut you right quick because
ain't nobody bigger than the game, prime time."
Pretty much. It's like, dude, you let in the cat out the hat. Relax.
The game was still going without the analysts either. So,
Deion wasn't lying. It's true. The game's gonna go on.
It's true. The game is always gonna go on, regardless of who's there or not. But
it's just insensitive right now. That's all.
You can't be reckless of somebody's health. And if these players have a national concern for their health or their family's health, then it's their right to, opt out. No, Deion's not going to come and take care of their family.
Right.
It's something would have happened. I'm pretty sure he may try to take care of somebody's wife, but he ain't taking care of nobody's family.
It's true though. I always say, they're gonna opt out. Let them be, because that's their thing. They have everybody has their own reasons.
It's their health.
Yeah.
And it's their loss. Whatever money they lose on circumstances, whatever, then it's on them.
Yeah, they know the chance they're taking because they're also gonna miss time on the field. They might not be as good when they come back. That's they know the risk they're taking, so let them
Now,
be.
for in terms of the NFL, they have the luxury of going last because they can evaluate what's going on between NBA, hockey, baseball. The problem with you can't really model too much of NBA and hockey because their bubble plan basically goes with the idea of their seasons or just continuation. So it's just going to the playoffs. It's not going through a regular season like how baseball
Right.
began a regular season. So they're kind of have to go through the same thing as baseball's model. They have to find a hybrid model of hockey and baseball, so where you can probably try to have a lot of I guess if you look at a schedule, maybe you can have a flex schedule, or maybe you can modify your schedule so where like teams are not traveling as far in between. Even though a lot of things now are just private charter planes anyway, we have to make sure nobody misses their charter flight. If anybody misses a flight, they can't play because you're not trying to run the risk of them flying commercial and then possibly getting something in the airport or on the plane and then getting with your team and then now the whole team is affected. So. But it's a lot to ask of professional players to really take, even with hockey and baseball, with hockey and basketball, being that they're going to playoffs, it's still a lot to ask for professional players to leave their families for however X amount of days it is. And there's no guarantee you can bring your family with you. Like how basketball originally wanted to say you can bring your family, but you can't bring your family now. So it's hard to say you got to leave your family for 4 months or more.
The saddest thing was seeing Jason Tatum and the story. They was like, oh, he has to FaceTime his son every night and read him a bedtime. So I was like, that kind of sucks. Like his 2-year-old son, you know what I'm saying? It's like he's not a deadbeat dad, but he kind of got to do the, I'm in jail, dad. Like, I'm gonna call you tonight, son. Right. FaceTime you before you go to bed. Like, right. It's like he's missing some good moments with his. And like I said, they're gonna make the playoffs, and if they go deeper, it's more months away from him. It's like, to most, it's not a big deal, but he kept his son with him. He tatted his son on his leg. Like he brought him everywhere, and it was like, all right, I gotta go to work for the next 5 months. Like,
Mm-hmm.
It was sad when they released that story and showed the picture of him FaceTiming him, and he got to get new books. So he got to order some new books to give me, because after a couple of months, the son ain't gonna hit them books no more. These new books.
Yep. You got a lasso to shut up them books too as soon as you get them.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my first thought when they backtracked. At first they said they could bring the family, and then when they said they're not bringing the family, and I was just thinking like, that's a long time away from the kids. Some of them don't mind being away from their wife, but being away from the kids, those that do like the kids is like, I do want to be with my child, and and that's the bad thing about the bubble, and even with baseball, that they're not in a bubble, they're traveling, they're in a hotel or whatever away from family or whatever, supposed to be, doubt they all are. But it's just like, this is a long time to just stay, we stay home, work from home, social distancing, but they're like staying away from everybody. You're completely isolated, and life in a hotel, doesn't sound as good as you might think it is. When you can't bring anybody over, you can't have parties, you can't, everything is so restricted. It's like they're kind of in a jail. It's kind of prison-like. You're in a small room. It's just you and the TV or whatever. They can bring their video games. I forgot, somebody packed their Xboxes, things like that. But it's just like, you can find. They can't go nowhere. It's weird. It's weird. Sports in general, this whole scenario is crazy. But one more thing I wanted to get you guys, if I can find it real quick. Did you guys hear somebody recorded some strange noises coming from Donovan Mitchell's room?
No.
Oh, no.
I didn't hear that.
See if I can locate Hold on.
Donovan got one. They got one of the hotel staff coming through.
I don't know. They don't call him Spyda for nothing.
TMZ.
Hold on. Hold on.
Unless he watching the porno, he got the Pornhub premium.
I can find it. Oh,
And didn't Pornhub say they were giving premium access to people to the players in the bubble?
I see Donovan Mitchell caught sharing not safe footwork IG live.
There you go. So he accidentally turned on his live, and it was couldn't see nothing, but there was some noises coming up out of there. I'm trying to.
So he was either getting laid or watching porn.
That's the question. So hold on, I'm sending you I'm DMing you guys the video. So check the DM.
I don't know. I can't call it, brother. I don't know if it's on the computer or if it's straight live action. I don't know. I can't call it.
That's a tough one.
I don't know if it's live, but he's definitely having a good time.
Either way, he's not going to be able to give a dap to nobody after that for a while.
Yeah, because I mean,
and he didn't play yesterday. Ooh, he got no excuses.
I'm guessing he was just taking care of business by himself because I ain't hear anybody breaching
when these
the
players
bubble.
don't have their publicists around.
Right.
Like, why are you charging your own
IG
IG?
publicist?
I mean, he didn't know the TV was that loud.
When you went live.
Like how you accidentally hit your IG live, like you was getting pressing buttons, like the phone was.
Word.
He must have been watching somebody's live.
He was watching,
and
then he just threw
like,
it.
do you want to go live?
And he hit the button. Look, we don't know what happened, but that was
happened.
Man, listen, all you gotta do is come on and say, listen, I'm in quarantine. I'm in a bubble. Pornhub is all I got.
Magic City, man. That's all he needed.
The fappening was happening, all right?
For the
wings.
For the wings. Did we hit everything? Did we miss any? Oh, well, in other sports news, we do have Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones coming up.
Postponed until November.
Huh?
That got postponed until November.
Oh, so they postponed that. All right. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, it was supposed to happen, I think, September.
September, yeah.
But yeah, it got moved to November now.
Okay. All right. But who y'all got? Who y'all got for that?
Tyson.
Roy Jones.
It's probably gonna be Tyson. Come on, like heavyweight versus welterweight.
Yeah. Last time we kept saying. Remember, every time we kept saying Tyson started losing. So.
And Roy Jones is the heavyweight champ. He's the only he was light, middle, something else heavy. He won the heavyweight championship. He's the when people say
heavyweight.
He's the really only best.
Heavyweight?
Huh? Yeah.
Which division? IBF?
Heavy and heavyweight, yeah.
Hell out of here.
He moved to lightweight and he moved in.
How long was he champion for?
He wanted to fight Mike, and Mike didn't want to fight him. No, he wanted to fight Holyfield. I think it was. He wanted Mike. He wanted.
Oh yeah, 4 weight classes: middleweight, super middleweight, light
heavyweight,
heavyweight.
Yeah.
I don't remember him moving up to heavyweight. Damn. All right.
He's the only one. He's the only professional athlete to start his career at junior middleweight and to win a heavyweight title.
Right. He went junior. He went to 5 different classes. He won championship before. Yeah. I'm saying when people say pound for pound, it's him. When you
Roy Jones, that dude. I mean, his legs ain't been like that great, and I remember his last few fights, like when he was boxing consistently, and he wasn't looking good at all. Like that was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. Was that Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Part 2 fight? That was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life.
I got more. I mean, Roy's last fight was 2 years ago. Tyson's last fight was about what, 15 years ago?
15.
Roy's,
he was still fighting?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. People are caught up in Mike's videos that just went viral.
Right.
All right. So Roy Jones fought John Ruiz for the heavyweight title.
Yes. Because
years ago.
John Ruiz had just beat Holyfield.
Yeah, damn, man.
Roy won in Holyfield.
How do I not
In
remember this?
2003.
Yeah. And then Roy spanked Ruiz and was gonna give Holyfield the rematch. It was gonna give Holyfield the chance for the belt, and Holyfield was still scared to fight him.
I gotta slow down the smoking or something because I don't remember that.
He had a few more heavyweight fights, but then he gave up the belt and went down because there was nobody wanted to fight him at heavyweight.
Right.
Too fast for the heavyweights. Heavyweights was not trying to fight him because they like he's got the best of both worlds. He's too quick to really need Clubber Langham. And
I remember him going up in weight class, but I just never remembered him going up to heavyweight. Wow, that's impressive.
I remember him when he was going to like light heavyweight.
Wow,
I must have forgot. It's true.
I remember him going up to like middleweight. That's as high as I remember him going. I don't remember.
He didn't
Wow.
Remember, he was in fight like 3 times.
He went the distance, beating him on the scorecard.
Given the new information, I would go.
Ended up relinquishing the heavyweight and went back down to light heavy and ran through that still. So it was like, but he wanted Tyson. Calling out Tyson for years.
No, Roy Jones is much more polished fighter than Tyson ever was. So
yeah,
I would go Jones.
In later rounds.
I was just giving him the weight advantage.
50s, not fighting for about 15 years. I got Roy on this.
I got Roy.
Yeah.
I'm afraid for both of them. They're both in their 50s.
True, but I didn't know he was up at heavyweight. Now that I know he was, yeah.
Roy's been fighting recently, so that's why I got Roy just off of that alone. You know what I'm saying? Again, Roy hasn't really fought. It wasn't like he was fighting top guys recently, but he's still been fighting. So for that, I give the advantage to Roy.
But for that, I remember, originally it was Tyson wanted to go against Tyson Fury, and it was like Tyson Fury was like, "Stop it, fam!" Like,
and I agree because I do not want to see that either. Like Mike,
I want to see that.
Don't do that.
The only one that loses is Tyson Fury in that one. So
and that was why Holyfield didn't want to fight Roy Jones, because Holyfield was like, I got something to lose. If you lose, it's just he was out of class.
Right.
You got to be best little dude. So Holyfield ducked him and they ended up losing to Ruiz. So, but yeah, it's funny. That's how boxing works. Holyfield may have beat Roy if he'd just fought him. You never know. It's all about matchups. But what else?
Serena Williams almost lost, but she rallied to beat an unseeded American in tennis.
They're playing tennis. I didn't even know they were playing.
I didn't know tennis was back in business. What?
Me either, because the last thing was with the U.S. Open was canceled, so I was like, all right, they're done.
Yeah. So what tournament is actually?
I don't think it was a tournament. I just think it was like an exhibition.
Oh, okay. So she almost lost it. I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. She always say, on purpose.
Yeah, she was just like,
she's fucking around. Yeah, basically.
I think they said something about Tiger Woods was doing pretty good recently.
Well, see, golf can happen. They don't have to stand. They can 6 feet distance.
They're not with nobody.
they can socially distance. Like my tee time is this. You come 15 minutes later. You come.
Right.
Golf can business as usual. They can keep going.
Right. They can keep dying slowly by themselves. So many.
All them old guys. We want. So and so. Who? We ain't know. Yeah, golf can continue.
Golf is good. Yeah.
Professional bowling, are they active?
No, that's playing inside, bro. That's
indoors. Would they be a PBA bubble?
Nah. All right, so who's going to the series? Short season.
The World Series?
Yes.
Yankees, man, we looking good. It's a short season. We just gotta, what I'm saying.
We had a bad week.
We had about 7 games. It's been on.
We had a bad week.
Stanton's coming back. Tanaka coming back. How long is he? What was his injury?
Chapman is throwing.
Didn't Tanaka get hurt?
Oh.
He got hit a foul ball off the head.
It was a foul ball, but no, he was in.
He got hit with the head, so he should come back to concussion protocols.
Right. No, I think he cleared it a long while. I think they was just being extra cautious.
We got Chapman throwing again, so we're good. We're good there.
Right, so I think, and that's we've already started out hot. If Judge keeps it up again, if he wins MVP or whatever,
It hurts that Stanton got hurt because he was hitting
games.
He was hitting monster shots.
Yeah. I just want to see more Altuve hit by pitchers.
I love all of Houston getting hit.
He's averaging like 128. He's having a terrible batting season, which is great because he don't know what pitch is coming.
exactly.
You know, now you got to guess like the rest of us, huh?
I think
they got a little lucky with the pandemic because they're not top news. Like they're only top news when they're getting hit.
Right.
Like had this pandemic not been going on, they would have been must-see TV every day.
Well, not even just that. Like even if it wasn't televised, them going into another team's stadium, getting ridden,
throwing stuff.
Like we're getting heated out of the boos. Like we're not hearing any of the boos.
Yeah.
They're not going through that hate.
Pumping in happy crowd noise. They're not pumping in right crowd noise.
I'm just hopeful that the Major League fans are petty enough that they hold it in until the next season, that they can't get me in the stands.
Carry it over.
Just let them have it.
I guarantee I will. If I go to Yankee Stadium next season and he's down, I'm still booing them for this season. And
they cost us one. Come on now.
I'm we're gonna carry that over for another year. I definitely feel. I feel it should be. But yeah, they dodged it. Some people gonna forget, but I believe Yankee fans are not gonna forget. Dodger fans are not gonna forget. So yeah, they're gonna still.
we won't. We're not. Are we even playing them this year? Let's see.
I don't think so. I think they're keeping
it
up.
We're not even playing them this year.
Yeah, they're trying to keep the lights as close as possible.
Yeah, they're trying to keep everybody grouped up together.
So and it looks like they're not gonna make the playoffs. So we won't even see them.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
we won't see them at all.
They dodged the bullet.
They don't
That's
want
right,
to
because Kansas City been beaming them. Kansas City been beaming them, and everybody else. I'm for it, man. Look.
Yeah, it's well deserved.
Keep the torch up.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks that the Yankees got robbed of.
Yeah, we got robbed.
Representing us.
Dodgers got robbed too. I'm sorry. We got robbed too.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And like I said, I think the punishment that they was given wasn't
nowhere near severe enough. No.
It was not.
Well, they got amnesty, for snitching on themselves.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
Oh, you're not gonna take the titles away? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Right.
You did this.
Yeah,
the Red Sox got off easy.
Mm-hmm.
Red Sox got off easy.
Yes, they got off easy too. Yeah.
Right, well,
I mean, I think the one team to suffer the most during this is the Mets because they lost the manager that they wanted to hire.
Mm-hmm.
And their manager right now don't know what the hell he doing. He
looks
so bad out there.
I mean, but that's every year with the Mets, though. Come on.
Yeah, but I thought they had it right with Carlos Beltran.
Beltran he'd have been a little better, and it'd have been a good look for them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have been more capable, but I mean, the Mets are the Mets. Until they get that whole general manager owner situation righted, they're gonna be always that.
Which we haven't heard who won the bidding yet, which is weird.
No.
It was down to 3, so like I don't know how much discussion you need when it's down to 3 supposedly owners.
Is J-Lo and A-Rod?
J-Lo and A-Rod, yeah.
And they added Kelsey to that mix.
They keep changing their mind.
Yeah. No, they needed more people with money, so they added Kelsey.
Yeah.
They added Travis Kelsey to the mix and the other partners that they have. So
yeah,
they just don't have enough money. I think they learned their lesson from McCourty from LA. Like, dude bought the team on credit cards.
Right.
Sports. The Rock bought the XFL.
But see, he bought it on the low, man. They were bankrupt.
and he had other financial backers, so if it does bomb, he doesn't take a big loss.
Yeah, there's no big. He's not losing anything.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He's looking like the smartest man on the planet right now. Because every move he makes, it's calculated and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, there's no loss in that.
He could have $15 million for him. He makes $200 million per movie.
Exactly.
Right. $15 million was like, but
barely any risk, high upside.
Yeah, he paid off the debt. That was the debt for the league. So now they're starting back at 0. whatever happens with them next year, The Rock's name on it, he gonna announce that we're back. And, you know, that alone gonna get another boost. And it was actually good this year. It was
he caught it good. Not just that, because they're gonna have the benefit of the doubt that they got cut a little bit short because of the pandemic too, because they got hit right in the middle of it.
Right.
So like everything started acting up. So it's like, we gotta start closing. Yeah. So
it was definitely a good look for him. And I'm glad he's gonna come back because I did enjoy it this year. The players that was part of the debt. That was why they had to file for bankruptcy, because they paid off the players because it wasn't their fault. And so that's covered. The players got paid. The Rock and his financial team bought the debt. They can put money into it to either keep the whatever the next plans were, or build it up even more, or downside. It's theirs now. So I'm looking forward to that. They could probably do a bubble for that. They could do something with that. It's only, I think they had 8 teams?
8 teams.
Yeah. 8. So they could do a bubble. They could play indoors or something like. They can do whatever. They got options now. You can do a whole. It's theirs. The Rock's name is on it. His face will be on it. That's a good look, man. That's definitely a good look there.
And he can brand his tequila, so he still makes money.
Yeah, Terramana.
Yeah. All right, fellas, that's all I had. Good conversation with y'all, talking sports and things, the pandemic sports.